What's up, everybody? And welcome to the Real Spill with C. Will. I'm your host today. My name is C. Will. And today we're going to take a look at Sam Pittman's Monday's pre-week press conference to where he's wrapping up the past game that we won against Western Carolina by a score of 56-13. And he'll be highlighting, I guess, the points of emphasis for for this week's opponent, Kent State. And we're going to take a look at his thoughts to see the things that he would like to see done better, and the things that he feels that the team needs to work on. So, without further ado, we will get here as soon as I get set up.
They do have some offensive weapons. I like the quarterback. He transferred it from Purdue. I like the running back. And a really good kickoff return. Mine's full of transfers. Not full, but they have 36 transfers on offense and defense.
So I just want to I'm listening to what he's saying. I mean, Sam Pittman is a class guy. He's going to always, say what's right. He's going to do the right thing. Uh, but if you listen to what he's saying that they lost 6 people on the offensive line. So if you got that much turnover, then you're not going to have it together in week 2. It takes a while to build continuity. So they're struggling on offense. Now, I I understand why he's doing it that way, because you don't want your team to get overconfident, So he's doing what he's supposed to do as a coach. But I know, and it's my job to let y'all know, what the real is, as to what the real spill is about, giving you the truth. So um, this team here is struggling offensively. They only scored 6 points against Central Florida in their last game. So I don't know no other way to really take that.
Starting good last year. Defense, they're aggressive. Defense, they move more than what we saw last week. Still got a mix out of a 2-high shell. I like tackle. His name West. I like the 2 linebackers, very physical guys. And they got a corner returning that good player. So we're excited to get home. We have a high.
So the defensive breakdown for Kent State, he said that they lost a lot of players on the defensive side of the ball, but they got a lot of people out the portal, which that could be good or that could be bad, right? But again, you don't have a lot of continuity. Guys are still learning the plays. So this is a team that's struggling on both sides of the ball. So but we definitely need to take them serious and continue to improve, because BYU will be next week, and that'll be really a legit test to see where we are.
Respect for Kent State and their program. All part from our fans run through.
So yes, he speaks about how excited he is to be playing in Fayetteville, playing at home. Their true home stadium seats about 80,000. Is a different experience. I'm sure, as anybody know, if they've been to a Razorback game in Fayetteville, is unlike any other experience here in the state of Arkansas. So playing in Little Rock was fine, and I'm quite sure that he was pleased with the turnout. But it doesn't compare to opening up, doing the hog walk with your fans, walking through the A, all the things that happens, in Fayetteville. So I know he's excited to get home.
You know,
Coach, just looking back at the game, I don't think you had any procedure penalties. You had 7 for 86, but not like.
So we're looking back on the game. We had 7 penalties, but only one of those penalties was a procedure for on the line. So the offensive line did a good job, even though we didn't dominate and blow people off the ball, but they didn't make mistakes. And We know we have a lot of inexperience on our line as well. So if you can eliminate the mistakes, then you can definitely improve.
5 minute backfield or ball starts or anything like that. With all the changes that you made with the offensive line and stuff, it's got to be completely right.
I thought it was really good, Craig, to be perfectly honest with you. And to be, again, honest, we sent several plays in. Just wanted some clarification on why it was called. Obviously, there was a few of them that we knew why, but we haven't got that return back yet. But of those 7, we sent a few in to get a little more clarification of what the penalties were. So I felt.
So we did have some penalties. Saying some of them were kind of like 50-50. We had a couple of them that we did do, like the penalty that Chris Paul did, the targeting. So he has to sit the first half. So, he's saying we had some, but some of them, probably was kind of like 50-50 on that. So I'm going to move it ahead a little bit more further to where I know he's speaking about the game
performance.
I wish we would have knocked them off the ball more.
So when he says that, he's speaking about the offensive line. The offensive line didn't make a lot of holes for Rocket, and we know Rocket is up for the best running back, the Doak Walker. So they have to do a better job of making holes, even though they did do a good job as a whole. I think that Rocket probably, was trying to make the big play, being that he know that he is an NFL caliber running back, and maybe he wasn't patient enough. So, a lot of times when you're trying to make the big play, you end up hurting the team as well as yourself. So sometimes you have to take what's there and be patient and wait for that big run to unfold.
We had opportunities in some double teams, and I felt like our shoulder angle was off. To be specific with you, when the linebacker in the combinations behind you, you've got to stay vertical as you can, and you've got to work that more. That's one of the things we've got to clean up. If they're in front of you, it's easy because your shoulders are going to be aligned with it. If they're behind you, your shoulders are going to be aligned, but they can be vertical. Just wait.
So he's speaking about technique. We have 4 new guys on the line. We lost a lot of people last year. So, some of the things that he's saying that gave us problems in blocking for the running game, he's explaining a lot of that is like not recognizing and not having their hands in the right places and not being able to take the proper angle. So a lot of that is technique, and you being like your first year, this is your first game starting, those are some of the things that you have to learn along the way. So I don't think he's panicking, but he's explaining why the running game perhaps maybe struggling on a few plays.
See what he's doing. And I think we were quick at times coming off with the guard and quick at times coming off with the center. I think we have to play better in there. But I thought Tykees, for his first leg, he started in the Liberty Bowl, but didn't play much. I thought he did a nice job. I thought Ron did a nice job. It'll be nice to get Brady back. I think we'll have him.
So I'm going to move it ahead again.
Yeah, they'll be ready to play. I'm excited to play them. Mac is a great league.
Pretty much last year, the rest of the league got in for two, basically. He spread how well they clicked Saturday.
I think over the rules have changed a little bit where you can throw a little bit more in the summers and then they can on their own and all that kind of stuff. But I felt the trust. I'll be perfectly honest with you, Otis, that guys catch everything. And
so he's speaking about the chemistry that KJ Jefferson has with his weapons, his new receivers. And a lot of people may or may not know that all of those guys are transfers, and 2 of those guys are Division II players. And they didn't look like that. They're big guys. They have size. They can catch everything, as Coach was saying, and they run routes well. And the repetition that they built over the summer, practicing and throwing and catching with KJ, is starting to pay dividends, because the passing game hasn't been this precise since Bobby Petrino has left. So That's definitely for a week one. It's definitely impressive. So I think this is what coach is speaking about.
Now, what do we have? The first 6 passes or something with 6 different receivers or something like that. Was it 7? And they earned his trust. And I mean, but we're catching the ball really well, contested balls really well. And I know Andrew and Tesla, especially, we need to get Broden going.
So I'll stop the share here. So those were his main points that he was speaking upon. He did mention the special teams because we do have a weapon in Isaiah Satanga. Every time he touched the ball, he made a big play. Not just a play, but a big play every time. And it's been a while since I can remember a guy named Joe Adams. Uh, he was kind of like that, but it's always great to have a special teams guy that can, be a threat to take it to the house. And he spoke about the punting game. Max Fletcher, who had a punt average of 49 yards the last game, did a great job of keeping the ball high, a lot of distance. And if you got a good punter, that helps your defense out. So we look great in all phases. Just got to clean up the running game. But with the type of running backs that we have, I mean, there's no reason not to feel good about that. So um, that's basically as far as Pittman, what I wanted to kind of go over with you guys today. I do want to talk about some games that happened or a game that happened yesterday in New Orleans, Louisiana. Florida State Seminoles, the number 8 ranked team, played against the number 5 ranked team, LSU, who's out of the SEC, and dominated LSU 45-24. And I'm quite sure a lot of the Razorback fans do not mind at all LSU taking the L. But they lost their first game of the year to the same team, and they ended up winning the SEC West. So, I'm not going to just give up on Coach Kelly, but it's definitely not the way that I'm sure the fans and the LSU faithful wanted to start the season. Tonight we have a game, number 9 Clemson at Duke. That is an ACC conference game, so they're starting their conference playoff week 1, and that game should be at Durham, North Carolina. I expect for Clemson to handle Duke, but it could be good for the first few quarters since it's a road game for Clemson and the first game of the year. So that's what's on top for tonight. And make sure you guys tune in for our next telecast about the Razorbacks, and I think that will be on Thursday when we hear Sam Pittman's in-week press conference to where he talks about the preparation and more about the team that he's preparing for, and that again will be on Thursday. And I want to give a big shout out to Health Gyms for their sponsorship and everything that they've done, to help us, bring this show to you. We want to give a big thanks and for everything that they've done to contribute to us giving this show to you. So that's all I have. And I want to encourage you guys to, give us engagement, leave a comment. If you like it, give us a like, and go ahead and subscribe because we will be giving out a lot of content, and we don't want you guys to be behind because a lot of what we say is going to be trending and it's going to be, happening right now. So we want you guys to be able to get that information. Again, my name is C. Will. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until the next time, so long.